Hey, 7th graders, we are going to talk about slope-intercept form today. The slope, which you guys practiced last week and this week, is the rate of change this is the rise over the run. Okay, how much did it change per y compared to x? Okay, so a couple of things that you have to know about slope-intercept form is that this equation gives you the slope and the intercept, and that intercept is the y-intercept. This is the point where the line crosses the y-axis. Okay, so where it crosses that vertical axis, this is our y-axis right here. So it says a formula for the equation of a line using slope-intercept, using a slope and its y-intercept. This is probably one of my favorite forms, just because we use it a lot, okay? You guys, especially in 8th grade, we're really going to hit this equation a lot. And so the base equation without any numbers in is y equals mx plus b. M is your slope. We talked about this the other day. B is your y-intercept. And then x and y are just variables, okay? So they can stay there. So when we are given an equation, instead of having to make a table to graph it, we can just use this formula, which is really, really nice. Okay, so it says, steps for graphing. Try graphing the line y equals negative 3x plus 2. So the first step, it says start by placing a point at the y-intercept. If you have a starting point, you can use a slope to graph the line. So the starting point would be positive 2. So I'm going to put that right here. My slope is negative 3. So this means it's a negative 3 over 1. So it says from that point, count out the slope to find the next point. Be careful about positives and negatives. Okay, so I'm going to go down 3 over 1. 1, 2, 3 to the right 1, because I went down because it's negative. So down 3, right 1. Hopefully you guys are really good at slope by now. 1, 2, 3 over 1. And then the last step is just to connect the points. It says 2 points. I always do a couple more just to make sure my line is on there. Use a straight edge to connect your points. And there's our line. So that is much easier than having to put a whole bunch of points into a table. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of practice. The first one's here. It says write an equation for them in slope-intercept form. So now we're going to work it backwards. Okay, so in order to write the equation, remember our equation is y equals mx plus b. We have to figure out, well, what is the b and what is the m? So that's what we're looking for. So here, the b is negative 1. I'm going to have y equals, and then my slope, let's find it. I'm going to go down 1 over 3. So negative 1/3 x minus 1. My next one looks like it intersects right here, and my slope is up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the right 1. So y equals, my slope is 6x. My intercept is -3, so -3. And I don't ever write plus and minus because then it just gets too jumbled, so that's how I express it. Okay, so now the next two we are graphing. So if we graph this, remember you start at the intercept, 1, +4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The slope is, if there's nothing with that x, it's a 1, so this is -1x. So down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1. And there's your line. Okay. Then your other one. Now this one is not in the right form, like the y is not alone. So I'm just going to show you this really quick. Y plus 1 equals 1/4 x. We've got to get rid of this 1, so we're going to subtract it to the other side. Y equals 1/4 x minus 1. So this brings up a good point. It has to be in this form in order to graph it using slope-intercept form. So I'm going to start at -1. My slope is +1/4, so I go up 1 and over 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And technically I could go down 1 and over 4. Do you see how I'm right there too? So two negatives create a positive. Okay. So in the next 4 questions, it says identify the slope and the y-intercept for each one. So in the first one, they aren't in slope-intercept form. So we have to get them there. So the first thing I would do is move the 2x over. I get 4y equals 2x plus 8. And then my next step would be to divide by the 4. Let's grab a different color here. Divide by 4. So then I have y equals 2/4 reduced to 1/2 x, and then plus 8 divided by 4 is 2. So your slope, which is m, is 1/2, and your y-intercept is 2. Okay, the next one is pretty close to getting y by itself, and I prefer just to do one movement. Even if it's going to be on the left side of the equation, that's okay. So what's your slope? Well, x doesn't have anything with it, but that doesn't mean it's 0. That means it's 1. And then your y-intercept is going to be 7. Okay. A line that passes through 3, 3, and -6, 0. Okay, that one's a little bit trickier, and we haven't learned how to find it from just 2 points yet. So I'm going to skip those 2. I'm not going to require you to know how to do those at this point. You would find the slope, and then you would use a point to do that. But you guys haven't been, we haven't done that yet, so we're going to skip those. Special cases, if there's nothing added on, this is a plus 0. So that means your y-intercept would be 0. Okay, if there is nothing, no x, this means that it's a horizontal line crossing the y-axis at 4. So your slope is 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. Your line would go like this. Okay, at 4, your slope is 0. This one, your y-intercept is 0. And then this one would just be 1 to get your y by itself. How would we do that? We would subtract the 5 from both sides. So this would be 3y equals 6x minus 5. Then to get the y alone, you're going to divide by the 3. Y equals 2x minus, this one doesn't come out very nice, it's just 5/3. Which is fine. Sometimes we have fractions or decimals, but I like you to leave them in a fraction or a decimal. Okay, so that's kind of slope-intercept form. Here's a little bit of practice on this side for you. It mirrors what we did on the other side. Don't worry about doing these two unless you really want to. Okay, and then this sheet is a review for mastery. Let's see here. Maybe I will go over this again on Monday. Okay, short video today. I will give you an IXL to go along with this. You guys are going to be doing Y7, I think, but I'll throw that on our classroom page. If you guys want to go ahead, you can go through this. I am going to review this on Wednesday or next Monday as well. Okay, hope you guys have a great rest of your week. It's actually supposed to be nice out today, so go outside and enjoy.